Several defense industry enterprises in the Tula region were hit on the night of July the 11th. A series of drone attacks affected both Tula itself and nearby cities. This was reported by the Russian opposition publication ASTRA. According to preliminary information, the strikes were targeted, hitting facilities closely associated with Russian defense orders and ammunition production. One of the incidents occurred in the city of Alexin. There, the debris of a downed drone fell on the territory of the fourth workshop of the Alexin experimental mechanical plant. There is no information about damage or casualties. This plant is part of the Techmash concern and is engaged in the production of equipment for the manufacture of explosives and solid rocket fuel. The second incident was recorded in Novomoskovsk. According to sources, at least one drone hit the territory of the chemical plant Azot. The security guard of the plant, 57-year-old Sergei Govryshkin, was injured. He was taken to the city clinical hospital with shrapnel wounds. The Azot plant supplies nitric acid to the Sverdlov enterprise, which produces components for artillery ammunition. This is not the first attack on the chemical plant. Strikes were recorded in May and June. In Tula itself, one of the key facilities of the Russian defense industry was attacked. The Akademician Shipunov Instrument Design Bureau. The enterprise is engaged in the creation of high-precision guided weapons. As a result of the first strike, the administrative building caught fire, then the plant was attacked again. One employee died, another was injured. This is not the first attack on the KBP. UAVs previously reached its territory in June. In addition, targets were also spotted over the territory of NPO Splav, an enterprise specializing in multiple launch rocket systems. This time it is unknown whether damage was caused. However, the facility had previously been attacked. In May, one of the operating workshops was hit, and on the 7th of the same month, the plant was again under fire. All four attacked facilities are directly related to weapons production and are actually involved in aggression against Ukraine. Sources in the Ukrainian security forces do not comment on their involvement in the incidents, but in recent months, such attacks have become regular and demonstrate a new level of depth and precision in attacks on the rear infrastructure in Russia.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Saturday held talks with his North Korean counterpart Cho Sun-hui in the port city of Wonsan. According to Associated Press, Cho praised the relations between the two countries, noting that they have risen to the level of an unbreakable alliance. Lavrov thanked the North Korean leadership for providing military assistance at the border with Ukraine. "We are sincerely grateful to the leadership of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and of course to all servicemen, soldiers, and officers, who demonstrated excellent combat training and made a very important contribution to the just cause of liberating Russian territories," he said. The Russian minister began his three-day trip to North Korea on Friday. Russia's TASS news agency reported Wednesday that the trip was part of the second round of strategic dialogue with Cho Sun-hui. Lavrov and Ko's earlier meeting took place in November in Moscow. Some South Korean analysts said Lavrov may discuss arranging a visit by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to Russia. Since February 2024, North Korea has been accepting Russian tourists amid expanding military cooperation between the countries.
Здравствуйте.
Thank you. Very nice to see you. The weather is perfect and the place is fantastic. Yes, it's good. В ходе первого раунда нашего стратегического диалога, когда вы приехали в ноябре прошлого года в Москву, вы охарактеризовали наш новый базовый стратегический договор как прочную основу непобедимого боевого братства.
Участие в боевых подразделениях вооруженных сил НДР в операциях...
Оценка получила зримое подтверждение в прямом практическом смысле ваших слов в Курской области, о чем вы упомянули, где героические военнослужащие, бойцы Корейской народной армии вместе с российскими бойцами ценой крови и даже жизни приблизили освобождение Курской области от украинских нацистов и мирных.
По освобождению Курского региона ярко свидетельствовало самый высокий...
Мы искренне признательны руководству Корейской Демократической Республики и, конечно, всем военнослужащим, солдатам, офицерам, которые продемонстрировали великолепную боевую подготовку и внесли очень важный вклад в справедливое дело освобождения русских территорий.
Высокий уровень нашего союзничества, а также стало важным историческим...
In the fourth year, the so-called SVO reached Kamchatka, the most remote region of the Russian Federation, located 7,000 kilometers from the front. There, they began to jam the internet, fearing an attack by Ukrainian drones. This was reported by Russian media. In Russia's Kamchatka Krai, mobile internet has begun to be restricted, citing the threat of sabotage. According to Vladimir Solodov, the region's governor, this decision was made as part of measures to protect strategically important facilities, including the Russian Pacific Fleet base in Vilyushinsk. Our task is to prevent and make impossible the carrying out of sabotage on the territory of Kamchatka Krai. In connection with this, restrictions have been introduced, including on navigation in Avacha Bay, the use of the internet, and geolocation, the governor of the Russian Federation said. According to the governor, such measures are necessary to ensure the safety of residents. The regional government also emphasized that the internet outages are temporary and are aimed at preventing possible threats. It is noteworthy that Kamchatka is located more than 8,000 kilometers from Ukraine, and the probability of a real strike from the Ukrainian armed forces in this territory is extremely low. Despite this, the same security protocols have begun to be applied in the region as in the central part of Russia, where Ukrainian drones actually fly. Similar restrictions have already been introduced earlier in Primorsky Krai. They also began to turn off mobile internet, stating that such measures were allegedly being introduced all over Russia. The Far East authorities began to react more actively after a series of explosions in Desantnaya Bay near Vladivostok in May, as well as publications in Western media about a possible Ukrainian operation against Russian Pacific Fleet facilities. According to experts, these measures do not so much protect as destabilize everyday life and prevent citizens from using basic digital services. It is obvious that there is no real threat of Ukrainian sabotage in Kamchatka, but the use of military alarm for information purposes allows the expansion of repressive instruments, even in the most remote corners of the Russian Federation.